Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I decided to make a YouTube video talking about all the animes that I've watched this year. Like literally every single anime that I've watched this year, not only the animes that were like coming out seasonally and I watched, I mean all animes that I have watched this year. I wrote a list of every single anime that I've watched, and I think I'm gonna go in the same order that I wrote it down, which is I went through all of the seasons, so I'm gonna basically talk about the animes that I watched while they were coming out. Then I'm gonna talk about the animes that I watched out of season, and then the animes that I rewatched this year, which was one. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about all the animes that I watched this year and tell you a little bit about what each anime entails, like what it is about, but without spoiling anything in case you haven't watched and you might be interested from my description of the animes. So let's get right into it, shall we? Starting with the winter season right at the beginning of the year, the first anime that I watched this year was Solo Leveling. So basically Solo Leveling is about how there were some gates, like portals, that are linked with other dimensions, with monsters. As these portals and monsters appeared, we also started having like humans that were transformed into hunters. And basically they have superhuman abilities, and you have different types of hunters. You have like healers, you have the people that are in the front lines. So basically those hunters, to go through those portals and defeat those monsters, they form guilds. So basically a bunch of hunters come together, and in those guilds, like, they get paid to do those jobs and fight those monsters. So then we meet our main character, who is Sungjin Woo, and he started out as an E rank hunter, which is basically the lower tier that you can be, and he was also described as the weakest hunter of all mankind. Basically, he joined like one of these guild things moments, and the party went in there, blah blah. It was supposed to be a very safe, easy dungeon to go through, but it turned out to be bigger than they thought, deeper than they thought. They continued, they went in, and they realized that this dungeon was a little scarier and harder than they thought it would be. So in that dungeon, a bunch of crazy stuff happens. I don't want to spoil anything, but somehow Sung Jin-woo survives this. He's in the hospital, and he realizes that he can kind of level up. He is pretty much the only hunter that can level up. Yeah, I guess this is pretty much the summary of the anime. I don't want to say anything else at all because I don't want to spoil you, but it's pretty cool. I quite enjoyed this anime. I think that the consensus was that some people thought that the Korean manga was better. I don't know, I haven't read it, but just from watching the anime, I really enjoyed this, and I gave this a 9 out of 10 on my anime list. Then the next anime that I watched in the winter season was Dungeon Meshi, Delicious in Dungeon. This anime was just... I don't know how to describe it other than it was so good. I really enjoyed this anime, and my boyfriend kept telling me, like, you're gonna love it, and I did. He was right, so what else can I say? So basically, this anime begins with a knight, Laios, with a small party in a dungeon, and basically, like, it doesn't go very well, and his sister, Fallen, is eaten by a dragon. So, also, from my understanding of the beginning of the anime, she was also the most powerful person of that party. She was a magic user, and this guy Laios obviously wants to find her, get her back before the dragon fully, like, gets through her body and she actually dies. So he decided to go look for his sister, but when he says that, basically most members of the party were like, listen, I don't want to do this anymore, good luck, but I'm not going. So it's just him and Marcel and Chilchuk. They don't have any money, but they decide to look for Falin anyways, try to get her back, find that dragon, and fight it, and hopefully everything will go okay. As they are going down, looking for this dragon, they go back in the dungeon, right? And they meet a dwarf called Senshi, and they find out that he likes cooking food with the monsters that he slays. And Laios is a bit weird about all of that. I don't know why, but he wanted to try monster food for the longest time. So naturally, Senshi joined their party. And that's pretty much the theme of this anime. It's just a bunch of people going into this dungeon, killing a bunch of monsters, and cooking food with the monsters that they slayed along the way. And that's the whole theme of the anime. It does get a little serious more towards the end of season 1, but most of it is this. So yeah, I'm not gonna say anything else in case you want to watch it and you haven't. This anime was very, very good. I gave it a 9 out of 10 as well. I quite enjoyed this one, and I definitely recommend you watch it too. Next, so the next anime that I watched was The Dangers in My Heart, and this year in the winter season, the second season of this anime was coming out. So I started watching the first season, and then before the second season finished, I started watching season 2. So I'm still counting it as watching it in the winter season because I did watch it while it was coming out. I had to wait for a couple episodes to come out, so you know, it counts. Anyways, this anime is pretty much like, you have the main character, which is, I think he's like 13 or 12 or something, just like, you know, a middle school shy kid. And he's a shunibyo. And in his school, in his class actually, there's this very popular girl, and she is a model, and he thinks that he wants to kill her. That's what he thinks. But as the anime goes on, you realize that this kid is just a very normal kid, and like as most shunibyos are, and he's actually not a bloodthirsty killer, he's just a very normal kid who's not very popular. And this girl is actually just very normal, and all she wants to do is eat some snacks. That's all she wants to do. So they basically start talking to each other more because they meet up in the library, because he goes to the library to read weird-ass books, and she goes to the library to eat snacks without anyone else seeing her eating some fucking snacks. So she's hiding to eat snacks, and he's trying to be a weirdo in the library. That's how they meet up, that's how they start talking more and hanging out more. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about this anime. I just need to tell you how funny this was. Like, this anime was so funny. The author of this anime is a woman that wrote this like 13-year-old girl in the best way possible, and also wrote this 13-year-old boy in the best way possible. And it's so funny, so hilarious. You see both of them struggle with such like preteen problems, and it's so funny. And this anime was so good. I know it sounds very simple, and it is a very simple premise, but I love this anime so much. I gave season 1 an 8 out of 10, and I gave season 9 a 9 out of 10. Like, this was one of the funniest animes that I've watched this year. And that is the end of my winter season of 2024. I only watched 3 animes, but I have to say, these 3 were all pretty good. So then spring season came about, and the first spring season anime that I watched was Demon Slayer. Do I need to summarize, like, Demon Slayer? I think everybody knows. Yeah, I guess I just watched this new season. I thought it was good. You know, Demon Slayer, we all know the story, we all know what happens. Nothing, like, super surprising happened. But I did enjoy the last few episodes were more enjoyable to me than the beginning of this season, because you actually see things like developing. I'm not gonna summarize Demon Slayer. Everybody knows what it's about. So I'm just gonna tell you what I thought about it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was only 8 episodes long, so I think it was the shortest season of all of them so far, but I did enjoy it. Then I started watching Kaiju number 8, and this one was very cool. I quite enjoy this anime. So, Kaiju number 8 is basically about, where do I begin? Okay, so we have the main character, Kafka, and Kafka was childhood friends with this girl called Mina. And basically, when they were childhood friends, they made a promise to each other to become officers in the Defense Force. And the Defense Force is like a military type organization to protect Japan from the monsters that show up in this world, and the monsters are called kaiju. Then we see kind of like a time skip of Kafka being an adult, and he was basically giving up on joining the defense force, and his best friend Mina actually turned out to become a big deal. She's very famous, very powerful, very good at killing the kaiju, and she's basically like the shit. And he's not even in the defense force. He works at an organization that cleans up after the slaying of the kaiju. They just go there and clean it up after all the mess is done. They clean everything up. And it was disgusting to see in the first episodes. But we meet this new character who is one of his new co-workers. Kafka kind of sees himself in this new guy, in Reno, because like he wants to be a part of the defense force as well, and he started out in this cleaning team. But as the two of them are cleaning after some kaiju fight, another kaiju shows up, and Kafka is basically forced to fight this kaiju even though he has failed the test to join the defense force. I don't even know how many times. So basically he saved Reno from being killed, but both of them are like severely injured, so they both go to the hospital. And as Kafka is in the hospital, one kaiju appears, like a very small one, and he's like, oh, I found you, and goes inside him. And basically Kafka got an ability to transform into a sort of humanoid kaiju, and he was very powerful. Like, he got incredible strength and all that. He transformed at the hospital. People at the hospital start calling the defense force saying like, oh, there's a kaiju here, blah, blah, blah. And so he had to run away, and he was labeled as kaiju number 8 by the defense force. So he decided to use his kaiju powers for a good cause. So he joined the defense force, and he is using the kaiju powers to fight other kaiju. That's it. That's the premise of the anime. This was pretty epic, pretty cool. The fight scenes were so fucking cool, and meeting all of the characters as well was very fun. I gave this one a 9 out of 10 on my anime list. I definitely recommend you watch this anime if you haven't already. Then after that, I started watching My Hero Academia season 7 or 8 or whatever fucking season we're on. And I do have to say, like, I'm getting a little tired of My Hero Academia, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think it's bad. A lot of people are talking about it as if it's, like, the worst anime ever made. I don't think it's that bad. I just think that it's not as good as it used to be. I think that when you go on with so many seasons and for so long, you just start to naturally get a little bit tired of the same story, but I thought that this last season was actually the best one since season 4. I still enjoyed season 4. After that, I wasn't loving it that much, and I actually kind of liked this one. I did think that there were some silly episodes mixed in there, but I quite like this season as well. I guess that's all I have to say about My Hero Academia. Like, everybody knows what this story is about. Everybody knows this anime, so like I'm not gonna do a summary of it either. You all know it. I gave this season a 7 out of 10. But yeah, a lot of people hated this season. I didn't think it was that bad. Frankly, I've just watched so much of this anime that I want to see how it ends. I've already gotten some spoilers from the manga, and I don't want to hear anything else. Do not comment. I don't want to know. I will not read it. Anyways. Next. Then I started watching this new anime called Windbreaker. You know what? I'm just gonna summarize this in a very simple way for you. It's basically Tokyo Revengers, but good. That's it. That's what it is. The main character actually knows how to fight, and he doesn't cry all the time. You know? So there you go. That's my summary of this anime. No, but in all seriousness, the main guy, Sakura, moved to a new city because he wanted to join like a school gang. Honestly, he's a tsundere. That's what he is. He acts like he doesn't care, and he has, what's the name of it? I forgot the name of it. Hello something. Hello. I don't fucking remember. But he has that disease where like half of your hair is one color and your eye and half of the other. Like, obviously his depiction of it, because it's for anime, it's like very exaggerated, but like half of his hair is white, the other half is black, and he has like a blue eye and a golden eye or whatever, something like that. And he makes friends in that gang. He wants to be the boss of the gang, and he realizes that the gang is just filled with really nice people, and that's it. He's just making friends. And you have actual interesting fights. So yeah, Tokyo Revengers, but good. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed this one, and the opening was so good. Like, the opening of this anime was so goddamn good. On the same note of really good slash great openings, the next anime that I watched this season was Go Go Loser Ranger. I have to be honest with you, this was one of my favorite animes that I watched this year. This anime is Power Rangers, but you don't know who the good guys and the bad guys actually are. It's like you see the Power Rangers fighting the monsters, and you kind of get an inside view and like a point of view of the bad guys and a point of view of the good guys, and you can't tell who actually are the good guys and who actually are the bad guys. This anime was so good, so entertaining. You have like really funny moments, really intense moments of like trying to figure out what's going on, figure out who's actually good, who's actually bad, like who's joining forces, what is happening, who is the bad guy. Like it was such an entertaining anime, and I really really loved this anime. This anime was so good. It was by far one of my favorite animes that I've watched this whole year. Yeah, so I gave this anime a score of 9 out of 10 on my anime list. In all seriousness, this was by far one of my favorite animes that I've watched this year. So I definitely recommend it. You should watch it. It's like it's so good. I don't know how to do it justice and explain it well enough to the point where you understand its greatness, but I genuinely love this anime. Last but not least, in my spring season anime watching, we have Black Butler season. I don't know what fucking season this is, the gay season. This season was just like, CL just joined like a boarding school because a guy in that boarding school just dipped, like he disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to him. And obviously he was a part of a very important family because this school was just for very rich people, obviously. So he joined, and Sebastian posed as the vice principal of the school, and both CL and Sebastian are pretty much like trying to understand where the fuck this guy is and what is up with this school, because the school is weird. And it's a boarding school for a man only, and everybody's gay because it's Black Butler, so everybody's fucking gay. Nothing too crazy happens in this anime. It was just, I guess I really liked it because I watched Black Butler when I was a teenager. And you know, Black Butler, when you're a teenager, it's all about Sebastian. And I was watching it now, and I was still kind of feeling, you know, the teenage girl that still kind of exists within me was just very excited to be living in a timeline. 10 years later, I'm living in a timeline where there's another, like a new Black Butler season. So I quite enjoyed it. Nothing too crazy happens, just everybody gay. Yeah, you know, I had fun. Black Butler public school arc, that's it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So, you know, nothing too crazy happening, but I did enjoy this season. There was still a little bit of mystery going on, which was my favorite thing about Black Butler after Sebastian. I guess I also recommend this one if you've watched Black Butler before. Then, in the summer season, I watched season 2 of Oshinoko. In case you haven't watched it, it's basically about the idol culture and how the show business is fucked up. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else, honestly, because I went into this anime without knowing anything about it, and if you haven't watched it yet, I don't want to tell you anything because the first episode of this anime of season 1 changed my brain chemistry forever. It was so good. But yeah, this anime is basically how the idol show business industry is so fucked up, and there is some mystery as well at the same time. So I really like this. I watched season 2 while it was coming out, and I gave season 2 a 9 out of 10. So, you know, this year was such a good year for anime for me, I swear to God. I didn't watch a lot of things, but the things I did watch, I enjoyed most of them quite a lot. On a contrary note, I started watching I can't even speak. Suicide Squad Isekai. I thought it could be interesting. The premise of this show is Suicide Squad, you know, the DC crew, and they are isekai. That's it. Sounds like a very interesting thing that they could have done. They could have done something really cool, something very interesting. I don't think it was that good. Like, it wasn't horrible. I'm not saying it was horrible, but I just think it was fine. I can't even tell you most of what happened because things were just happening and I was like, ah, okay. So then what? You know, like nothing crazy happened. I wasn't surprised. Like it was a very obvious premise. Nothing, I don't know. It was just very meh. I don't want to say mid because mid has some really bad connotations on the internet now, but it was fine. I gave that one a 6 out of 10 because I just thought it was okay, you know. Do I recommend this one? If you want to. So after watching Suicide Squad Isekai, I watched The Elusive Samurai. Yeah, so I'm just gonna read the synopsis on my anime list because I don't know how to summarize this without spoiling the whole thing, so I'm just gonna read it. Tokyu Hoju, a carefree 80-year-old noble, is content with the serene life in Kamakura, shows little regard for the serious responsibilities that come with his eventually succeeding his father as the next shogun. Basically, yeah, he didn't want to do all that serious fighting stuff. He didn't learn any of that. He basically learned the art of evasion, skillfully dodging the advisors and discovering perfect hiding spots. However, everything shattered when there was a coup and it wiped out his whole clan. So he was the only survivor and he felt incredible guilt and he actually thought about, you know, he then met a priest, Yorishige Suwa, and basically he was like, nope, we're gonna go to the battlefield, don't worry about it. That priest told the little kid, Tokiyuki, that he will become a great hero one day. He kind of forces this kid to fight, and he's not actually fighting, he's just evading all of the soldiers and all that. And this anime is about just this kid not really knowing how to fight, but kind of surviving because he's just evading all the time. I know it doesn't sound incredible or very exciting, but this anime was very good. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. It's a very good anime, and you should definitely watch it. There are some crazy stuff happening, and the fight scenes are actually really good, even though that it's an 8-year-old not actually fighting and just evading everybody. But this anime was really good. Then we go into the fall season, where everything started so well, and then it kind of fell apart. But, I mean, actually, you know what? This season was a bit crazy. This was a very packed season as well. But I started the season with Uzumaki, which, dude, the first episode was so good. I don't want to say that much about it because my opinions are very much the popular opinion. I think episode 1 was really good. Like, it was so good, the animation. That then, when you watch episode number 2, I don't think it was as bad as everybody was saying it was, but because the first episode was so good, the second one looked like absolute garbage. It wasn't that bad, but it looked really bad in comparison with the first one. Then the third episode was so silly. I was laughing. You're not supposed to laugh. And this anime theme, this is supposed to be like a suspenseful thriller type anime. And I was laughing because it was goofy. And then on episode 4, I watched the ending and I thought, this seems stupid. It just seems kind of stupid. My opinion is pretty much the popular opinion. Everybody agrees with me. The first episode was so good, and then it all went downhill from there. Like, I don't even have anything to say. Do I recommend it? No. Not really. This manga started being published like a week before I was born. That's insane. Anyways, I gave it a 5 out of 10. And I gotta be honest with you, I gave it a 5 because the first episode was so good. But as an overall anime, I had to give it a 5. It was not that good. So I don't really recommend it. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, anyways, moving on. I started watching Dan Da Dan, which, like, that was really good. Also, I loved that they made the schedule in a way that we would have an episode coming out on Halloween. I love that so much. Basically, the premise of this anime is you have Momo, the main girl, and then you have Takakura Ken, the main guy. And Momo believes in ghosts and like spirits and all that. And Ken believes in like aliens, UFO, that type of stuff. And he doesn't believe in ghosts, and she doesn't believe in the UFO stuff. So basically, they meet up and they try to convince the other one that the thing that they believe in actually exists. So Momo makes Takakura Ken go to a very well-known, like, haunted place, and Ken makes Momo go to a very well-known place that has like UFO sightings and stuff like that. And so they go, and on the first episode, they realize that, holy shit, she was right. And she's like, holy shit, he was right. And that's the whole premise of the show. They start like fighting aliens, fighting ghosts, fighting all of that. But this has simultaneously the best love story of all time if it actually happens by the end of this anime. So I definitely recommend this one. And also, really good opening. Such a good opening. It's by Creepy Nuts, so you already know. You know, the authors of... I'm so sorry, that was the worst impression of all time. Anyways. I gave a 9 out of 10 to Dun Dun Dun. Then after Dun Dun Dun, I watched ReZero, the new season, which I don't know, I think it's the 3rd season. I'm not sure. And I'm gonna be honest with you, ReZero is just vibes for me. I don't really watch isekais, and before starting this season, I had to watch a recap video to remember literally everything that happened, because I watched this and I vibe. I don't, no thoughts, head clear. I just like it. Because I don't really like isekais, but I like this one because gory, you know? And also a little bit of mystery mixed up in there. I love mystery stuff. So yeah, I watched the new season of ReZero. It was pretty cool. I don't want to spoil anything. I think everybody knows what ReZero is about as well. I haven't scored this season yet because they have divided it in 2 parts. I don't know why, but it was over when the fall season was over, and that was 8 episodes, and we're gonna get another 8 in February. So I don't want to score it yet because I want to see the whole thing, but I quite enjoy the season so far. Just from the 8 episodes that I've watched, I think I'd give it like an 8 out of 10. It was pretty cool. Then I started watching Blue Box, which honestly, it's a romance story. I'm not very keen on romance things in general, but I have quite liked some romance animes. And Blue Box is basically about this guy that plays badminton and this girl that plays basketball, and the girl is very popular and the guy has a really big crush on her, and it's basically just like him and her talking, getting to know each other a little bit more, and yeah, you know, just proper romance anime stuff. I quite like this one, but I haven't scored it yet either because it's not over yet, but I am enjoying it quite a lot so far. I think I would give it an 8 out of 10 as well, only through the episodes that I have watched till today. Then I started watching Orb, about the movements of the Earth. Very long title, so we just call it Orb, me and my boyfriend. We're watching it together. This, I'm gonna read the summary as well, because like there's a lot going on. So I have not scored this anime either yet because it's gonna be 25 episodes long, and to this day there have been, I think 13. I think an episode came out today, but anyways. 12-year-old prodigy Rafal believes in living rationally so as to earn praise and respect from society while not being led astray by his emotions. To this end, he publicly states his intention to study theology, the academic field held in highest regard in the early 15th century Poland, which is where they are. However, an encounter with a mysterious man upends Rafal's life, sparking an illogical desire to instead pursue his passion for astronomy. Rafal is determined to prove the beauty and rationality of heliocentrism, the theory that the Earth revolves around the Sun. This belief is considered heretical by the powerful church, which promotes geocentrism, the sun revolving around the earth, as the sole truth of the universe. Those whose beliefs do not align with the will of the church suffer unfathomably gruesome consequences. In pursuit of evidence for a heliocentric model of the universe, Rafal grapples with obtaining precise calculations and building empirical theories. His greatest challenge, however, lies in conducting the research discreetly, lest he wish to meet the same fate as the other heretics. So basically, yeah, that's what this anime is about. 15th century Poland, and it's so good. I've been loving this one. Also, very good opening. Nando demo. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say about this because I don't want to spoil anything ever. But I've been really, 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 really loving this one so far. Now we're gonna talk about an anime that I started watching after this one, which, dude, please do not judge me by this title. I swear, the title sounds weird as fuck, but the anime is very nice and wholesome. Okay, this anime is called If My Wife Becomes an Elementary School Student. Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. Don't click off the video yet. Hear me out. This man's wife is reincarnated as an elementary school student. That's what's happening. Nothing suspicious happened. Nothing weird happened. It actually turned out to be a very nice anime with some very good advice and life lessons, which I was very surprised about. I was ready to click on episode 2 and stop watching it entirely. But it's actually been really good. It's not over yet. Do I recommend it? I don't know. It's kind of like watching a slice of life, but there's a weird premise in there, you know? I think with the episodes that are available to me today, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I don't know yet because it's not over yet, but just hear me out. Ignore the title. It's not suspicious, I swear to God. Very normal, wholesome family time, okay? Thank you. Next up, I watched Beastars. Season 3. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like Beastars. Just it's not good. And I watched season 3 because, you know, I've come this far watching season 1 and 2. So now I'm watching season 3 too. Unfortunately, it's gonna be 2 parts. So I watched part 1 in like 3 days. Because honestly, I need to force myself to watch the whole thing, or else I'm just never gonna do it. So I watched Beastars. It was fine, I guess. Like, I don't... Last season was way worse, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like season 2 at all. This season was very weird. Like, there's a horse. I think I downloaded the wrong BoJack Horseman. Like, I don't know. I think I would give it like a 6 or a 5 out of 10 again with the episodes that are available to me today. I will be watching part 2, and then it will be over forever, so thank you very much. That's it. I don't have much more to say about Beastars. I just don't like it. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people love it. Not me. I guess the furry thing is not for me. Thank you very much. Now, we're gonna talk about the animes that I've watched out of season. I've watched, not a lot, but I watched some of them. I started watching, like, out of season anime because there was a time where I was just like, I want to watch more anime. The things coming out are not fulfilling for me right now, so I just wanted to watch more anime. And first, I watched Undead Unluck. I watched this, I think at the very beginning of the year because I was only watching 3 animes at the time. Basically, how do I explain this anime without spoiling everything? Basically, you have the main girl, and she is unlucky. Everything she touches, or everyone she touches, becomes very unlucky. And I think it depends on how affectionate the touch is. That's pretty much her power, and everybody in this anime has some something power. So you have Unluck, which is this girl, and then you have Undead, which is the guy that she meets on episode 1. And as you can imagine, he cannot die. Like, he literally does not die. So I quite like this anime because there's also, like, it's very shonen, like, type of fights going on, but there's also some mystery happening in that season, and I really like that about this anime, so I really love this one. I give it an 8 out of 10 on my anime list. I do recommend it. I really liked it. Then I watched a very old anime. I watched Erased because I think this anime was on my list when I was like on my first year of university or something, and I just never watched it. And I have to say I quite liked it. Like, there was some mystery in there, and it was not obvious, which I did enjoy. Like, I guessed some stuff, but I could not guess how that anime was going to end. Like, you could have given me 100 chances to guess how that anime was gonna end. I would not guess it. I give Erased 8 out of 10. I think most people will know about Erased, right? But it's basically a mystery show, and it starts when the main guy was just a child, and it goes all the way to when he's like 20 something or whatever. There's a lot of mystery going on, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and I just really enjoy this one. So if you haven't watched it, I think you should. If you like mystery animes, I really do. I love mystery stuff. I do recommend it. And then I also watched My Dress Up Darling. I don't know what made me wait so long to watch this anime. This anime was so good. Like, this might be one of the best modern romance stories that I've seen. I know I said I don't watch a lot of romance stuff, but like, this was so good. I also think that this anime is very well known, but very quick summary, you have the main girl and she likes the gyaru style, and then you have the main guy who's a gojo, and he likes dolls, like making dolls and clothes for the dolls and all that. And the main girl, Marin, wants to do cosplay, and she meets him in the school where he's doing like some clothes for the dolls. He's very embarrassed about it, and she's like, oh my god, that's so cool, you can sew, like, can you help me do my cosplay? And basically he just starts helping her doing her cosplays, like the costume, the whole like setup for a little photo shoot, like the whole thing. He helps her with that, and basically they're falling in love as time goes on, and as they spend time together and as they do these cosplays together. This anime was so good. I don't want to say anything else because this was so goddamn good. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Just a 10 out of 10. I am serious. You need to watch this anime. You need to watch it. Marin, she's so funny. I love her. If you've watched it, this one is for you. There you go. Then I watched another romance. I forgot. Yeah, I watched Tomo-chan is a Girl. Oh, I forgot I watched this. That one was also very good. It was very funny. This one is basically about this girl, Tomo-chan, and she has a crush on her best friend called Jun. And they're childhood friends. They've been friends forever. And she's pretty much like, she's a tomboy, you know? And she has a crush on him. And she thinks that her best friend does not see her as a girl. So she's trying to put some effort into making him see in a way that he could find her attractive and all that. This anime was very good. Yeah, I think I would give it a 9. I had a lot of fun watching this, and I thought it was very funny as well. And I love one of the side characters, Carol. I love Carol. She's so funny. I do recommend this one. You need to watch it. Very good romance as well. I guess I watched more romances than I thought. Then I watched an anime that I guess is not really an anime because it's Chinese, but whatever. It's on my anime list. This is a mystery anime. You have two main characters, Sheng and Lu. Like, imagine someone hands you a picture, Sheng can go in the picture, like at the time the picture was taken, and he goes into the body of the person that took the picture. And Lu does not go into the photo, but he is in the outside world. He's the one that can see the timeline and what is supposed to happen, because Sheng cannot change the past. Like when people disappear or they don't know what happened, things like that. People go to their store and hand them a picture because they want to know what happened, or they want to change like a tiny thing that would not affect the past at all. This show starts with just random people showing up. Like each episode was kind of a story thingy, and it goes from that to, by the end of it, there's a serious thing going on. So I watched this. There were 2 seasons out already, I believe. I watched this whole thing with my boyfriend, and I think there's a new season coming out right now, so we have to watch it. But yeah, I guess technically this is not anime because it's Chinese, but I quite enjoyed it. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. I didn't add it to my anime list, I forgot. And last but not least, the anime that I watched this year out of season was Apothecary Diaries, which, by the way, a new season is going to be out January 10th, which means that second episode is going to come out on my birthday. I'm so excited about that. Anyways, the premise of this anime, if you don't know, I don't think everyone will know this, so I'm gonna give you a very brief summary of this. So the main girl is Mao Mao, and she is the daughter of an apothecary. she was kidnapped by people from the imperial court. So now she lives as a maid in the imperial court. And she basically tries to avoid any sort of attention ever. She's just like, if I do my job as a maid, I'm gonna like work here and eventually I'll get out when I have enough money. So basically, this anime is just each episode has some kind of mystery illness or mystery, like something that seems like a ghost is haunting the place or something, and she is just finding out what is actually happening, or when it's an illness, she finds out like how to cure the illness or like what is causing it and tells people to stop using it, basically with her apothecary knowledge. And I really like this one. It was basically just like a bunch of mysteries piled up together. So it's a mystery, but there's also some romance aspect mixed in with it. I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one a 9 out of 10. I really love this anime and I'm very excited for season 2. I have rewatched Mob Psycho 100 and I don't have anything to say about it. It's an absolute 10 out of 10. I love Mob Psycho. All of the seasons are absolutely perfect. I don't need to tell you what happens. It's my favorite anime of all time. And I am still going to get a Mob Psycho tattoo. I think I have not forgotten about a single anime that I have watched this year. I don't know if this is something that people actually wanted to see from me or not, talking about the animes that I've watched this year. But I just thought that this year was so good anime-wise. Like, I watched such good animes this year that I just thought I had to share. And if you want to talk about any of these animes, please comment down below if you've watched any of these and if you agree. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, you know, all that usual stuff. As usual, the links for my social media profiles are going to be in the description down below. You can follow me if you want. I guess that's it for me this week and for this year. And I'll see you guys in 2025. Bye! Tu errava no quê?